here
Hi, I'm Tom Harlukowicz with Sky,
at ShopTalk 2025.
where some of the top minds in commerce have descended upon Las Vegas, and we were lucky enough to catch up with some of them at a very special edition of Retail Media Thursdays.
Today I have Josh Kreitzer, who is founder and CEO of Channel Bakers and now part of Havas.
Yeah.
Welcome, Josh.
Yeah, so Channel Bakers is a retail media first agency. We started about a decade ago. More recently, as you mentioned, we got acquired and have a partnership now with Havas. I'm really excited about that. I think the question I oftentimes get asked is, what made you decide which direction to go? And for me, I would always say, I always know that retail media was going to be a big part of the future. I've known that from the day I started the agency, but there's a big new ocean. In fact, there's the 7 C's today centered around non-endemic advertising. And while I have a lot of relationships and worked with a lot of brands that are manufacturers, the opportunity for non-endemic with retail media is what I saw as a big part of the future, right? And that's why I joined Havas, to be able to work with them and the brands they have, to be able to actually bring them into the fold of retail media for the future.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I lead the commerce team and retail media team at Monks, which means anything to retailer.com. That's what my team manages. So, think an Amazon.com, a Walmart.com, but think not branded. So that's my team. I sit in a larger digital media group that does just about anything you can imagine on a screen. So we film BMW commercials and we optimize content for small two-product brands. So yeah, that's what we do, and I'm happy to be here talking with you today.
My name is Janine Flacavento. I am a client president at Dentsu, so I'm overseeing predominantly retailers across all of our media and creative brands, and really helping them through a time of great transformation in that business.
Love this mic. I'm Kavita Karyappa. I am on the buy side of the business, so I head up commerce activation, and we help our brands buy retail media and shoppable media. And it is a really exciting time because there are so many more players in the market, so our brands are having a great time understanding and navigating through this complex space.
What do you wish you knew 12 months ago that you now know about commerce media?
Sure, I mean, we all know commerce media, retail media is booming, it's going wild. I think, last year at Cannes, for instance, people joked like this is like a retail media festival, and it continues. I think the thing I wish I knew 12 months ago, so I could have gotten a little more ahead of the curve, was that yes, Amazon and Walmart, that's the lion's share of it, but all these other retail media networks that continue to pop up and continue to exist, they really do add like accretive value. And we're seeing a lot more of our clients like ask for this, like, hey, I'm also here. Hey, I'm on Sephora. Hey, hey, should I get into, I'm in Home Depot. Should I actually be advertising on that kind of thing? And it really does add a huge amount of value depending on your goal too, right? Like a lot of these stores, to get in store, the coveted actual physical store slot like at Home Depot, you better sell a lot of stuff online, right? And so all these retail media networks are providing new opportunities for brands.
I would say within the landscape of Sky, actually, one of the coolest things that I've seen just in the last few weeks, few months maybe, is Sky's new platform, Celeste, right? And that for me has been really exciting to be part of that beta. My team and I have already come up with a number of really amazing insights, and if you were to ask my team today, hey, guys, what is one of the most challenging things you have with the day-to-day? They're always going to respond with reporting, and it's not necessarily like the data per se, it's developing the insights and action items from the data. Like, we're all over inundated with data, but with Celeste now, like, you can literally ask it really important questions like, for this particular Guinness, maybe, what is the best performing campaign for that particular product? And that's what's really neat about being able to get to product level insights through Celeste that empowers my team to add more value to the client. And I think one of the cool new behaviors that's gonna happen organically is having a laptop out in the meeting with the client, could be a quarterly business review, and maybe one of the C-suite folks asks a question that we would normally respond with, well, I can get back to you, I don't have that in front of me, but now we can actually go, hold please, type it in, and we might be able to get that answer right there live in the moment because Celeste. right? So that's what I didn't know anything about last year, maybe, but that I know now, right? And that for us has been really exciting to partner with you guys on the beta and making that product a lot better and refining it. It's really, I can't wait. Can't wait to use it more.
So I think this kind of actually ties into my first point about people now leading retail media networks who don't necessarily have a retail background. I am encouraged, yet still amazed at how many conversations I've had so far this year about retail transformation in a very real operational way, of retailers now recognizing that a maybe merchant-led approach needs to shift, or having retail media just be tied to shopper and trade has to shift, has to evolve. It's something that I think we've talked about like internally as agencies, but not something that I felt a whole lot of heart for from a retail perspective. But I am seeing like real dedication into breaking down silos, looking at a new way of working, and I do think by having many of the retail leadership on the retailer side come in from publishers and platforms, I think we're going to see a dramatic change in that, and I think it's going to lead to just an accelerated growth within this industry.
Okay, good, excellent.
And building on Janine's point about the transformation in the space, we are seeing the silos breaking down, and that also means on the buy side for brands, a lot of contributors and investors in retail media. 12 months ago, we knew that the number of retail media networks multiplied by the number of investors at the brands was going to be complex and it was going to be difficult. Right. Now that we're in it and we're activating across hundreds of retail media networks, what I'm understanding is that not all of them are built equally. Some of them are not media publishers, and some are really data partners or advanced co-op partners. So for us, we're really in a place now where we have a great amount of learnings, and we're telling our brands exactly how to navigate the space, where and how to invest in the right partner that's going to achieve your overall marketing and media objectives.
All right, and then crystal ball. We're here next year. What do you think this is going to look like? What do you think is going to be the big topic at ShopTalk?
Well, I asked a question earlier in another panel that I was watching, and the conversation is obviously centered around generative AI, not just AI as an acronym, but generative AI and tools like Celeste, right? What I'm thinking about as the future rolls out is not just like tools we could be using, but how that's going to evolve for shopping behaviors and how shopping behaviors are going to evolve because of generative AI response pages, like Amazon with Rufus as an example, right? So looking at all of that, I think that's going to be a more evolved conversation. It's been a couple years since this first surfaced, and a lot of people had a lot of different ideas, especially how fast it was going to evolve. But at the end of the day, we're now starting to really understand how it can create efficiencies, again, for teams like mine or the brands. And in that world, it's going to save a lot of time, a lot of headache. My team won't be up till midnight trying to do a report in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Like, we'll be able to actually empower our people more with a tool like, again, generative AI tools, but with a tool like Celeste. I'm really excited to help them get those efficiencies. So they're not always going, reporting and insights. It's like, now it's like, I can do that real quick, right? And that's the future.
1 year from now, what are we going to be talking about? What are some of those subjects that you think are going to be top of mind for us?
So I'm going to say something that I'm sure everybody is saying. Okay. I am going to bring up AI, but I think from a different perspective. So already it is a huge piece of how we can efficiently run and scale retail media. I mean, Kavita talked about it from a creative perspective. Sure, Dentsu was lucky enough to win the Adobe AOR. That is a huge focus of this engagement, is how can we build out Gen Studio so that it is something that can handle not just tens of thousands of assets and campaigns, but hundreds of thousands of campaigns. So we're already on the path, but I think a year from now, we will be amazed at how differently our businesses are run, even from an agency perspective, because the ask of our clients to go faster, to do more with less, to find that efficiency and ensure that retail media is a profitable business for them. It's just going harder. And so we need to figure out how to work smarter. And I do think AI is going to be that unlock. And I think we're finally at a place where the tools really are meeting the needs of the business.
And then something that I'm excited to see, I think it's a two-pronged answer. Speaking of retail transformation, we are going to see transformation on the brand side of the business with change management and how the brands are organizing their media, the marketing, and the sales teams. As I mentioned, we have a lot of investors in the space within retail media, and I think we will see a change management alignment across some of the top CPG companies to really lead the charge, and we'll see subsequent companies really follow suit and reorganizing and building a cohesive marketing organization that includes retail media. There is the second part of this that I see in the 12 months too, just from like a product diversification standpoint. I really think that we'll see gaming come back in a bigger way. When people talk about gaming, I think they see AR, VR, metaverse, but we are in a space of grabbing a customer's attention, and a lot of attention is spent in in-app gaming. And I think that's going to be a key shift and a key pivot with retail media networks really diving and testing into the space over the next 12 months. And I think that's going to be really exciting from an attention perspective.
Okay.
I'd love to build on that. Like that really comes back to innovation. And I think where we're still seeing a little bit of pushback is this innovation for innovation's sake, or is it actually what shoppers are looking for? But I think what Kavita's saying is bang on. I mean, the amount of time and attention spent in social, in games, and I think also when you look generationally, there, for a lot of people, isn't a difference. Nobody's thinking like, now I'm playing a game, now I'm absorbing content, now I'm shopping. It is all it is one fluid thing. And so I think that we, as partners to these retailers and brands, also need to be adopting and pushing them further to bring innovation that their shoppers and customers actually want versus innovation that we think is cool.
You know what I'd love to see? Creative is really a big conversation in the really non-retail media space. And we do a lot of like AOR pitching for different clients, trying to run not just their retail media, but also, you know, their social, their paid social, organic social, their search, their programmatic opportunities. And what we're finding is they're all like, right, okay, so how do we test creative in retail media? How do we, and it's really not there yet. So I'm anxious, and I'd be shocked if we don't see the big guys, Amazon's, Walmart's, coming out with almost like a PMax, like Google PMax, like equivalent for retail media, where all of a sudden I can put in a whole bunch of creatives and they're going to serve it, they're going to be A/B test it for me. That would be amazing. That it would be great, and I would be shocked because I know PMax is just outperforming the Google world, like it's absolutely killing it, and I would be shocked if the RMNs don't start to adopt that.
Don't follow suit. Yeah.
And the brands are demanding it, and you're going to unlock more budget that way. So it just makes sense.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for joining us for a very special ShopTalk 2025 edition of Retail Media Thursdays.
More to come.